Hi, in this video we'll do a quick introduction to KiCad and then use it to show you how to draw the schematic of this Arduino controlled LED that you see here. After you open KiCad, you want to start a new project, so File, New Project, and give it a name. We'll call this LED Demo. Then along the top you'll see the various things that you can do in KiCad. So you can create a schematic, you can edit a parts library, you can lay out a printed circuit board, and various other functions. We're only concerned with drawing an electronic schematic, so click on the Schematic Layout Editor symbol. A new window will pop up, which is a blank page ready for you to draw your schematic onto. There's a set of tools along the top and a set of tools along the side. Then KiCad also has quite a number of shortcuts, so you'll find yourself after a while using the single key shortcuts and the escape key on the keyboard and then your mouse to move things around on the screen. And you'll over time probably not be using the ones on the right very much as you get more proficient with KiCad. The scroll wheel is used to zoom. So you put the mouse over the area you want to scroll and then scroll in, which both centers the area and it zooms in or out. I've zoomed in on the title block because the first thing that we want to do is to update the information in the title block. So for that you can go to File and Page Settings, or there's a convenient icon, Page Settings, at the top, which we'll click. One of the things we want to do is set the issue date, so to put a date on it, so we'll update that. Then you don't have to put a revision on it, but we'll still call this revision. Let's call it, say, 1.0. Give it a title, so this will be called LED Demo. And then the company, I'm going to give it course number, ME 2011. And then there's 4 boxes that you can put in comments. So one of these should be your name. So I'm just going to do drawn and then put in my name. Then the last thing I'm going to do is set the size of the paper. Right now it's set to a European paper size. I'm going to change it to a regular letter size, 8.5 by 11. And then click OK. And then you'll notice that the title is updated with the appropriate information. To return to the full screen, if you hit the Home key, that will bring the full schematic onto the screen. Now it's time to draw the schematic. So I've got the example back on the screen just to see where we're headed. And the way you think about drawing a schematic is to put down the components. So we've got a resistor and a LED and some symbols. And then over here we've got an Arduino with some more symbols. And after the components are roughly in the place where you want them to be, then you can wire them together. So you can see that the components are connected by wires. So what we're going to do is to show you how to find a component, how to place a component, how to move a component, show you how to put down the symbols that you see, how to put down power symbols such as this ground, and then how to put down wires, and then how to fine-tune the positions of a block of components. The first component that we'll put down is the LED. The icon over here is Place Symbol, so that's to place a part. So you click on that and then click anywhere on the schematic, and then the very first time you do that, the symbol libraries will load. KiCad comes with literally thousands of parts, thousands of symbols, which is why it took a little bit of time for that symbol library to load. Plus, you can make custom parts relatively easily, although we won't be going into that in this series of videos. The Choose Symbol dialog has come up, and then in the filter you type in what you're looking for. So we're looking for an LED, So we're going to click on LED, and you'll notice that there are, maybe 100 components that have LED in the name, but fortunately the one that appeared first is a plain old LED, so we'll click on that and then click OK. And now it's looking for where I'm going to place that on the schematic, so I'm going to stick it right about here, but I'm just going to zoom in first to show you one thing, which is that the LED isn't oriented the way we want it to go. We want it to go up and down. If you use the R key, that allows you to change the orientation, so I'll change it around till it's up and down where we want it to be, and then hit the left mouse button to put it into place. Then if you're doing a series of operations, then if you hit Escape key, it'll put you back into select mode. So that places the LED. If I want to move the LED, I put the mouse over the LED without clicking it. KiCad has a number of operations that are done by hovering the mouse over the component and then hitting a shortcut key. So I've hovered the mouse over the LED. Then if I click the M or move key, I can move that LED around. So we'll park it back over here. Okay, now I'm going to look for a resistor, and I'm going to use the A key, the shortcut key, to pop up the library. All right, and you'll see that it's got in there recently used parts, which means the second time you look for things, if you're looking for the same thing, they'll appear at the top. I'm going to look for the resistor next. So I'll click R for resistor, and what comes up is the symbol for resistor in most European countries, and in fact in most countries outside of the United States, the symbol for a resistor is a rectangle. I'm going to choose the symbol that's used in the United States. I don't have to. I could use that European symbol. Either way is fine, and you'll see both ways in schematics. To find the US resistor, R_US pops up the US one. So click on that, click OK. This one's oriented the right way around, so I'll park it right below the LED. Actually, I'm going to park it above the LED and click to place it. If I click again, nothing happens other than coming back up to the Choose Symbol dialog. But what if I wanted to put another resistor? The easiest way to do that is to hover over the first resistor and then hit the C key for copy, and now you'll see another resistor that I can place down, or if I wanted it rotated, I could rotate it. We don't want that, so again I'll hover the mouse over it and hit the delete key, and then it'll disappear. And then it's a good idea to hit escape after you're done with an operation so that you're back into the select mode. Now we've got the two main components. Now we need to place a ground symbol. So for that, the ground and power symbols are over on the right on the Place Power port. Click on that, then click anywhere in the schematic, and a Choose Power Symbol dialog will come up, and I'm going to search for GND for ground. Number of different ways you can draw a ground symbol. So for example, the ground ref is the one with the set of straight lines in the form of a triangle. Earth symbol, earth clean symbol, earth protective symbol, ground power is another one you see. I'm going to use the ground symbol. That's this upside down triangle. Click OK, and then we'll put that below the LED. Now the symbols, the ground symbol is a symbol that has significance in a schematic, because in a more complex schematic, there'll be many points that need to go to ground. So all that you need to do is to place the ground symbol, and you don't have to connect the ground symbols with wires. It's implied that wherever you see a ground symbol, that all those ground symbols are connected together. Now at the top I need to indicate it's controlled by the LED, so by the Arduino. So I'm going to do that by placing over on the right, this symbol is a place global label. So I've clicked on that, and then I'm going to click where I want that symbol to appear, and up comes a little dialog box that asks me for the orientation of the symbol and then the label of the symbol. So I'm going to call this, and I'm going to do all caps. It's a good idea to use all caps for labels on schematics. So I'm going to do pin 2. It won't let me enter spaces for names, so instead I'll do a underscore and then put pin 2 as the name for this global label, and click OK, and then park it where I want it on the schematic. So now I've got the parts for the LED schematic. Now it's time to connect them together with wires. If I go over to the right, this green straight line is place a wire. Click on that, then go over and click on the label over, then go down and click on the resistor. Click on the bottom of the resistor, go down to the LED, bottom of the LED, down to ground, and then hit escape to exit wire mode. So then all of those are wired up. Let's return to the home view, and that would be pretty much it if I didn't want to indicate or have any other indications that the Arduino is controlling this. But let's put an Arduino up in the left-hand corner, because it's not only going to be controlling the LED, but typically you're going to have the Arduino controlling a number of different actuators or reading from some sensors. So let's see how that's done. Let's go to place a new part. So I'm going to use the A key to bring up the part search and then type in Arduino. You'll see a number of different options come up. I'm going to pick the Arduino Uno revision 3 and then put that down in the top left corner, hit escape to get out of search mode, and then we'll zoom in on that. Okay, I could run wires from the Arduino all the way over to the circuit, but that would make my schematic a little bit messy. So instead what I'm going to do is simply add labels to the Arduino. So I'm going to go over and hover over that ground symbol, then click C for copy and bring one over to the right over by the Arduino. Let's zoom in a little bit more and then hit M for move and get it right under the ground port for the Arduino. Then click to place it. Then the other one I'm going to use is the label, so I'll hover over the label, hit C for copy, bring another copy of the label, and bring that over near pin 2 of the Arduino, and click. Okay, so I've got those two. We'll zoom in just a little bit. Now I'll hit W to place a wire, and then this time before I hit W, I'm just going to start with my mouse over the label for the pin 2, and that automatically starts a wire. I don't have to click. Then go over to D2, click, and then also from the ground symbol up to the ground of the Arduino. So this indicates that this ground bus that is marked by the ground symbol, that the ground of the Arduino connects to that ground. So for example, if you've got batteries, you want to put a ground symbol on the minus of a battery to indicate that everything is connected together. And then everything that's labeled with this pin 2 global label is implied to be wired together. So by running the pin 2 label into the pin 2 of the Arduino, it implies that the LED is controlled by pin 2 of the Arduino. So let's back up, and it's just about right, but I want to do a little bit of final positioning. So I left click the mouse and drag to select an area, and then that whole area I can move around with it. So let's put it just right about down there, And then the Arduino, I'm just going to leave it parked in the upper left corner. One other thing to note, let's just zoom in on this label. So about moving. So let's say that I wanted to move this label but still have it connected. If I hover the mouse over the label and hit the M key for move, it moves the label, but it has disconnected it from the wire, which is what I don't want. Instead, sometimes when you move, you want to drag it by rubber banding, which means that the connections stay with it. So in that case, hover, hit G, then when I move that pin to, the wire comes along with it. So we'll just park it about back where it is, go out home, and that seems pretty good. So now go up, File, and Save. I've got one more step to do before I'm done, and that's to give the components names and values. So let's zoom in on the LED part, and you'll see that the resistor is missing a number and missing a value, and the LED has a value, this LED, but is also missing a number. If you double click on the value, up comes a dialog box for any component, and for this resistor we want to put in the value, which is 330 for 330 ohms. Then for the number, every component on a schematic needs to be numbered and numbered sequentially. The way to do that is to go up to the top toolbar and select Annotate Schematic Symbols. On that, it's got a couple of options. Use the entire schematic. We want to do that. And then keep existing annotations. We're going to reset from the beginning, so it starts fresh numbering scheme. And then click Annotate. Clear and annotate all the symbols. Yes. And then close. And now you'll see that this resistor has a number, R1. The diode has a number, R1. And if we go look at the Arduino symbol, that's listed as A1 for the Arduino. So now we've got a completed schematic. Now go up and File, Save. That completes the schematic. The one last thing that you might want to do is to print it out. The easiest way to do that is go up to the plot schematic symbol, click, and then plot as a PDF, plot all pages, and then close. And what you'll find in the same directory that the schematic is in, you'll find a PDF file. That's the schematic. The PDF will have everything that includes the frame. If, for example, on the PDF, let's go take a look at that PDF. We're back on the PDF. Sometimes you want to send around the entire schematic, including the frame and the title block. Sometimes you just want to send around a little piece of it as an example. So let's say I just wanted to send around the part with the LED. You can zoom in and then find the part with the LED, and then any kind of a screen capture type of program. I use the one that's built into Windows, and then you can capture just the part you want, and then you can paste that into a PowerPoint slide or into a Word document. It's important to enlarge the PDF before you do that, so you've got good resolution on your PowerPoint or your Word document. That completes this tutorial. I've shown you how to search for components, how to place a component, how to move a component, how to copy a component, how to place symbols, and how to wire everything together. And that's the basic steps that you use for simple schematics like this or for more complex schematics.